Listening 1. Corporate Social Responsibility. Listen for main ideas. Page 88.
This morning, I'd like to talk to you about CSR, or Corporate Social Responsibility. That is, the belief that companies need to be responsible for the economic, social, and environmental impact of their actions. Of course, companies want to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. However, increasingly, people are asking, at what cost? What is the cost to us, the planet, and the society we live in? It is this balance between profit and social responsibility in the corporate world that I want to look at today. Believe it or not, this issue affects everyone, including you, directly. We are all happy to buy our clothes more cheaply, but do we stop to think where they were made and who made them? Do you know who made your jeans, your shirt, or your running shoes? There are over 150 million children around the world in employment today. They are working often in dangerous and difficult conditions. Some of these children might have produced the clothes you are wearing right now. How does that make you feel? Worried? Well, you should be concerned, because the fact is, there are companies that show little or no interest in social responsibility. They employ children because they learn quickly and they're cheap. They don't care about their safety. They don't provide health care. They save money by polluting our rivers and oceans. Yes, these companies may make their products in countries in the developing world, but they are owned and managed by companies in the United States, Europe, and elsewhere. Countries that claim to have higher standards of social and environmental care. What's more, people living in developed countries seem quite happy to ignore these standards when they want to buy products cheaply. But things are changing. Corporate social responsibility is becoming a big issue these days. Consumers are starting to take a greater interest in the companies they buy products from. More and more consumers are demanding that companies pay their workers a fair wage. As for workers, they also expect companies to protect their safety and perhaps provide health care and other benefits. In addition, governments are starting to demand that companies reduce the pollution they cause. They are beginning to stop companies behaving in a way that harms the health of local residents and the environment. Thanks to pressure from all of these sources, consumers, workers, and governments, things are changing for the better. This brings us to an important part of responsibility, the question of who is responsible. Imagine a company is polluting the environment. Who is responsible? Is it the company itself, or the individual manager that is to blame for allowing the pollution? It's not an easy question to answer. Take another example. A big brand-name clothes company uses a local manufacturer in a developing country to produce their running shoes. The local company employs children in terrible conditions. They work for less than $1 a day, up to 16 hours a day, in dirty and dangerous conditions. Who is responsible this time? Is it the local manufacturer or the big brand-name company that buys from them? Or are we responsible, as consumers who are happy to buy the running shoes at a cheap price? And exactly how can you force any company to be responsible? Huge fines will help, and the negative effect on public opinion of media reports, but it's not easy. Nevertheless, some companies are socially responsible in the way they run their business. We shouldn't forget that. As consumers demand higher standards, more companies are trying to improve the lives of their workers and the society they live in. These companies show that profit and social responsibility can go together. I'd like to consider a few important case studies now, beginning with the example of the cooperative movement that goes back to 19th century Britain.